Hello all and welcome to The Big Story, where we discuss the hottest topics of the day right in the heart of the newsroom. I'm Haryanto, coming to you live from the Straits Times. Now we are streaming on Facebook and on YouTube, so be sure to comment, share and like our video. Now while you are at it, also do subscribe to our channel and hit the bell button so that you'll be alerted to our videos. I'll have my newsroom colleagues joining me in our episode today to talk about the stories that got you talking today. Now first, our segment for today: 4 moneylenders, 4 loan sharks, and a $4,500 debt. Whew. Now this was the unfortunate situation a Filipino maid, Natalia, of course not her real name, was in. Now in a bid to clear her debts, she found herself in more debts, including those from loan sharks. Fortunately, Miss Natalia eventually received help to finance her debts in installments and of course having strong support from her employer. The trend of foreign borrowers who take loans has continued to rise. The number of work pass holders acting as guarantors has also surged. New measures have been announced to tackle this matter. Now to tell us more, I have journalist Tan Tam Mei. Welcome, Tams.
Hello.
Now, Tams, this is your first time to the show. So, nervous? Okay?
Yeah, of course.
Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now, Tams, if you could take us through, right, can you briefly share with us what are the measures in place to tackle this rising number of foreign borrowers?
Okay, so there are about 4 or 5 measures in place. One of the biggest ones are tighter loan caps for foreigners who earn less than 10K a year. So these are normally the maids of foreign workers. So the amount has been tightened from $1,500 to $500.
Yeah.
And some of the new regulations include limits on the supply of loans. So moneylenders can't give foreigner loans beyond a certain amount.
Yeah.
And another thing they want to do is to stop targeted advertising. So sometimes you walk along the street and you see some licensed moneylender shops. Yeah. Some of them say things like domestic helpers welcome here. Yep. So this has to stop. So they're trying to stop that. And one of the other things is that loans can't be given out if the guarantor is a foreigner.
Okay.
Or if the loan is sort of brokered or facilitated by a third party that doesn't have the correct licenses to do so. Right. And for the last measure to tackle unlicensed money lending, so like loan sharks, so there are penalties for foreigners who are found to have borrowed from loan sharks. So for them it could include getting their work pass cancelled, repatriation, being barred from further work in Singapore ever again.
Right. And Tams, earlier on also as we were speaking, you also mentioned that there have been complaints as well, right? For example, when employers get letters sent to their house asking for payment for loans, the maids took off visits from licensed money lenders. Can you tell us more about this?
Okay, so we have spoken to a lot of employers and even maids themselves who find themselves in this situation. So because when you take a loan and a maid or a foreign worker uses their work pass, the home address of the employer is actually on the work pass for maids especially. So this is quite concerning for employers, especially those with young children who the lender might turn up, or if it's a loan shark, they might turn up at the house. So since September last year, since 2013 to September last year, there were actually 460 police reports made against harassment by unlicensed moneylenders. And all these reports were related to maids borrowing or acting as guarantors. So that's quite a big problem, I guess.
Of course, I mean, if let's say the maids are borrowing for whatever reasons and all that, I mean, we have to look at reasons. Of course, there are reasons that are legitimate as well.
Yeah.
So in this situation, what if these maids, they have legitimate reasons for borrowing?
Yeah, so I think we have to realize that maids too have the right to borrow, especially if there's family emergencies and they need quick cash back home. Yeah. But it's very tricky when it comes to them living with their employers. So some of the reasons we found is that some of them will borrow for medical emergencies, some for children's educations, and some are for lifestyle needs as well. Yeah. So I think we have to realize that these tightening measures have to come hand in hand with financial literacy courses, and you also have to help foreign workers or foreign domestic helpers understand the consequences of borrowing, and especially consequences of borrowing from a loan shark. And I think one big thing that with I mean, as the press and even as the industry players have tried to do, is to help people distinguish between licensed moneylenders and unlicensed moneylenders. And so we get all those texts on our phone. Those are definitely not licensed. You know, so don't reply. Don't
so got to be careful on that front as well. Now let's just go back to the case of Miss Natalia. Now she's fortunate to have the support of her employer. I am an employer of a foreign domestic worker as well. You know, and I want to be able to support my employee as much as I can. How and what are some of the ways that employers can do in this matter?
Because I think one thing is maybe open communication about financial problems that the domestic helper is having back home. You know, so at least they can talk about it, and the employer knows about any emergencies or any need for money. And we know that realistically, not all employers can actually give them loans or give them advances. But I think having some communication about it, at least the employer knows what's going on, and that if there's a chance to borrow, how can the maid do it wisely as well?
Definitely. And there are some comments on line right now, of course, asking about about flight risk when maids borrow money and all that, which is why these measures are in place as well to kind of mitigate this flight risk as well.
Okay, so flight risk, I mean, having conversations with licensed money lenders, they said that it's actually up to the lender themselves to take up the loan. To lend money to the maid, because as long as you're a foreigner, there's always a flight risk. You know, but at the same time, there's a service that is needed, so it's up to the money lender, the licensed money lender, to decide if he's willing to take the risk. So I think the measures don't tackle the flight risk directly, but it's kind of there as well.
So at the end of the day, like what you said, of course, on one front is to really be to teach financial literacy to these employees, correct? To make sure that they know what they are in for when they take up loans from these licensed moneylenders, to kind of like know what is at stake. Right, that's on one front, and of course the other front is to get the support of employers as well. See how much the employees can help out first before resorting to these other measures, I suppose. Right. Once again, thank you so much, Tams. That wasn't that bad for your first time. Now, for more on the measures, you can visit our website at www.straitstimes.com.